Why, hello there. I am Crystal Craven, and I am a singer, a songwriter, and a worship leader, and I am passionate about sharing what God inspires. And this is your weekly devotional. Okie dokie. Well, we are moving right along here in Luke chapter 17, and today we are looking at verses 31 through 33, and it says, "On that day, let the one who is on the housetop with his goods in the house not come down to take them away. And likewise, let the one who is in the field not turn back. Remember Lot's wife. Whoever seeks to preserve his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life will keep it." Now, as we move forward in these just short couple verses, we really need to kind of look back and remember the context that Jesus was talking about. And he's talking about the end times. And he had already told us that there were going to be days where we would desire to see him come back and that false messiahs would rise up, but he admonished us to not go out and to not follow them. So with that in mind, Jesus now is admonishing us not to cling to the things of this world, but instead to cling tightly to him alone. Now, Jesus in these next coming verses is actually about to mention the rapture, and we're going to dig into that next week. But right now, he is prefacing it with a heart check, because we should not be concerning ourselves with the way he stated it, like the goods in the house, or be focused on them as if we could even bring them with us in the end, right? Now, sure, we have houses and we have goods and things that we use to survive and to maintain life while we're here on earth. But those things are of no value to us in the end, and they're ultimately all going to get left behind anyway. And our hearts shouldn't be concerned with what's going to be left behind in our houses, but instead we should be remembering and looking forward to where our home truly is, which is in heaven. Now, it's interesting too that Jesus references an event that's all the way back in Genesis when he's talking about the end times, right? And that one just little 3-worded sentence, remember Lot's wife. That is such a strong warning for us. Now, that word for remember means to be mindful of, to hold in your memory, or to rehearse. And used in this context, it basically means to regularly be mindful of in order to learn a lesson from it. Now, in the account of Sodom and Gomorrah being destroyed, we read about Lot and his family being saved by angels right before it's about to be destroyed. And those angels had warned them not to look back or stop when they said in Genesis 19:17, they literally told them this: escape for your life. Do not look back or stop anywhere in the valley. Escape to the hills, lest you be swept away. And that warning of not looking back or stopping, that was actually both practical and spiritual for them, because they did need to get away quickly and just get out and get away so that they didn't physically get swept away in that destruction that was about to come. But to look back and stop would also be a heart issue of longing for the days that were lived in those cities of sin. And yet, despite the warnings, we read in Genesis 19:26 that Lot's wife behind him looked back and she became a pillar of salt. Lot's wife, in essence, wanted to preserve and she longed for the life that she had lived in that sinful city, despite being told not to. And that was the judgment of it, was being preserved into a pillar of salt. Now, Lot's wife stopped and looked back at what she was told to turn away from, and it destroyed her. But it wouldn't have just actually happened all of a sudden, right? So as she's walking with her family and they're fleeing from the city, she was likely lingering in her mind and in her heart and longing to look and to turn back and see. But what she set her mind on was exactly what she did. So in light of all this, of not loving things more than God, and the fact that Lot's wife had set her mind on something and she did it, it actually brings to mind what Paul had said in Colossians 3, verses 2-4. It says, "Set your minds on the things that are above, not on things that are on earth. For you have died, and your life is hidden with Christ in God. When Christ, who is your life, appears, then you also will appear with him in glory." If we are being earthly minded, we are going to be more about the things of this world than about the things above it. But if we are setting our minds on the things that are above, then we have Jesus as our focus and we truly have life, right? Regardless of what we lose in this world. And what we have is guaranteed, right? That's a guarantee because Jesus had told us in John 14:6, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." That is a guarantee. And really, when we think about this, it all comes down to our identity. Are we of the world or are we in Christ? And there's a stark contrast between someone who is in love with the world and tries to preserve their identity in it versus someone who is in love with Jesus and is willing to lose their life to maintain their identity in him and to keep it. Christ is everything. Therefore, may we heed the warning of Jesus and remember Lot's wife and always be willing to lose anything to gain everything in Christ. For blogs and written devotionals and originally written songs, visit crystalcravenmusic.com, and that is Crystal with a K and Craven with a C.